We're going to start with swearing in of the council. We have Councilman Brescher will be sworn in by Jacqueline Healy.
Family member? Oh, up here, he said.
Yes. Yes, that's what I do. Yeah, it makes it easier.
I, Richard Brescher, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of the council member for the Township of Edison according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
I do.
Thank you. Next, we have Councilman Coyle will be sworn in by Judge Jorgensen. Judge.
Step up, Joe. Joe.
Councilman, can you step up on the riser? Just makes for a better.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in the state, on the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of council member of the Township of Edison, according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
At this time, I would ask Councilwoman Joyce Ship Freeman be sworn in by Suzette Price, Esquire.
Yeah. Step up.
When I say I, you say your name. I,
Joyce Ship Freeman,
repeat after me, do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all of the duties
and justly perform all of the duties
of council member of the Township of Edison,
as council member of the Township of Edison,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
At this time, I would ask Councilman Ajay Patil to come forward to be sworn in by Congressman Frank Pallone.
Congressman.
Ajay.
Left hand on the Bible. Raise your right.
You good?
Raise your right. Do you, Ajay Patil, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that you will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of council member for the Township of Edison according to the best of your ability?
Help me God.
Congratulations.
Ready? You ready? Okay, at this time, I call the meeting to order and ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Deal.
Here.
Councilmember Gomez.
Here.
Councilmember Joshi.
Present.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilwoman Ship Freeman.
Present.
At this time, I'd ask you to provide adequate notice.
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by an annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, and the Sentinel, and the New India Times on December 13th, 2019, and posted main lobby municipal complex on that same date.
Okay, at this time, we'll open the nomination for the position of Council President for 2020. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Northrup,
Yes.
I would like
Councilman
to nominate Joey Ship Freeman.
Second. Second.
Okay, are there any other nominations for the position of Council President for the 2020? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, can you give us a roll call?
Councilman Brescher.
No.
Councilman Coyle.
Yes.
Councilman Deal.
Yes.
Councilman Gomez.
Yes.
Councilman Joshi.
Yes.
Councilman Patil.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President, congratulations. Please take the chair.
Nope, stay there. Deal, just come sit here.
governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties as council president for the township of Edison to the best of my ability. So, God.
Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for their support. Can you hear me? Okay. Starting off, integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of a leader. This is what I live by. Your character should never change, and it should be something you can believe in. As I campaigned traveling from door to door, listening to many constituents, my goal was to stay focused and empower others to share leadership. This is not my first leadership position, and it will not be my last. Indulge me for a minute while I explain a couple of them. I have held the director of the Academic Assistance Program, President Emeritus of Perth Amboy Teachers Association, a YMCA Board Trustee, Fundraising Chair, Department of Education, Amistad State Commissioner, NJEA Retired Policy Board, Library Board President, Vice President, just to name a few. By obtaining a Bachelor of Science from the College of New Jersey and a Master's from Kean University, it has afforded me the opportunity to give back to my community, Edison, New Jersey. I also know about teamwork. Being a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the team that I am representing now, though, is Team Edison. I will not be afraid to make tough decisions to move our town forward in the right direction while trying to keep our taxes at a minimum. I want to reach out to the county and to the state to help us defer costs that drain our economy. My vision for Edison, the 5th largest municipality in the state, was to I would like to bring back jobs that have been outsourced. My vision for Edison is that I would like to bring back jobs that have been outsourced. I would like to examine old warehouses, look for open land, and find areas that would help our economic growth so that it would not solely be dependent on taxpayer money. Look at the towns that surround us. They are developing projects to help defray their costs. We need taxpayers to be all right with the way their money is being spent. The quality of life projects such as splash parks, much needed recreation center, summer music, roller rinks, etc. Finally, I would like everyone to know that I represent everyone in Edison. Take a good look at your tax bill. Does it say your political affiliation? No. But I believe in fair and equitable treatment for everyone. Diversity sounds nice, but it is just a word if you do not have inclusion. Let's all work together to make sure we move into the 21st century. I depend on you to stay involved, and we can get the job done. Thank you. Okay. At this particular time, I would like to open the nominations for the position of Council Vice President for the year 2020.
Council President,
Yes.
it is my honor and privilege to nominate Councilman Sam Joshi as Vice President of the Edison Township Council.
Second that.
Roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Ship Freeman.
Yes. Oh, he gotta get sworn in. Yes.
I, Sam Joshi, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of member of council, vice president for the Township of Edison to the best of my ability.
I do so help me God.
Sam?
Yes. Good evening. First, I'd like to congratulate my colleagues Joe Coyle and Ajay Patil on their re-election, as well as the two newly elected officials, Richard Brescher and Joyce Ship-Freeman. I look forward to working with each of you. Ms. Ship-Freeman, congratulations on being president. Edison is the 5th largest municipality in New Jersey, and I'm humbled and grateful to serve as the vice president of the council this year. For those of you who don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Edison Township, and I take so much pride in being a product, a thoroughbred product of Edison. I began volunteering in Edison Township right here when I was 14 years old, and I've worked tirelessly as an intern or as an employee every single year since. I also served on the Fair Rental Housing Authority, and I was proud to be the youngest to serve. I was also the youngest to serve on the zoning board. This year will mark the beginning of my 3rd year on the Edison Council. Since taking office, every single week, I have spoken to hundreds of residents and worked on numerous initiatives for Edison as a whole, as well as smaller neighborhood issues throughout our 32 square miles. I've been strategic about taking on issues that I know that I can get done. This year, I'm looking forward to moving that needle further. Edison is faced with significant challenges. Edison had 2 historically significant referendums last year. A $190 million referendum for schools and another for public utilities. The message of those referendums was clear. Our priority needs to be an effective tax-based stabilization, efficient government, and improvements to our overall quality of life. Edison wants to see ourselves move forward. We want to see our government working for us. I look forward to working with my colleagues to address this year's budget on these matters. Smart growth planning and communication with the Board of Education is vital to the well-being of our township. I've stated many times before, we absolutely need to revisit Edison's master plan. Through smart growth, long-term planning, our redevelopment initiatives can be something that we are all proud of. The master plan itself impacts our quality of life, our tax base, and as well as our schools. Although the council does not traditionally get involved with Board of Education matters, it is clear that the residents have spoken out well enough. We have an overcrowding crisis, and residents do not want to bear the full burden through taxes. We need to think outside of the box on these solutions. That is why I'm asking the Township Council, the administration, and the Board of Education to begin a dialogue for shared services agreement with Middlesex County College. Our county college, right here in Edison, is one of the best and most beautiful in New Jersey. Their campus is massive, and some of their classrooms are state-of-the-art. I'm hoping an agreement of land, classroom space, or recreational services can come to fruition, even if it's just a small start. I'm also looking forward to working with my colleagues and the administration on public safety, hiring, and promotional reform. I'm unequivocally supportive of their work, but as politicians, we need to take ownership for when policies are outdated. We will also work to develop a proper utilities authority. This is something that the administration just kicked off January per a referendum last year. While we are working on these major issues that impact the entire town, we absolutely need to work on smaller initiatives that improve our township overall as well. Our Raritan River has the potential of becoming a jewel for Edison Township and the state of New Jersey. Our Middlesex Greenway should transform into an outdoor murals museum. Over the last few months, actually for most of the last year, I had a bunch of designs and plan drawings designed that I intend to show the waterfront park plan as well as the murals museum plan through Facebook Live. Our libraries also should be expanded. Keep in mind the $5 million budget of our libraries needs to be reflected working for the township. All of these initiatives require the support of 4 members of the council as well as the mayor. I'm grateful and humbled for being elected as your council vice president, and I'm looking forward to serving you all. Thank you.
Okay. At this time, I will open up for the public on resolutions only.
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
I have one that, excuse me, at this time, would anybody like to pull anything from the consent agenda?
Yes, Council President, I would like to pull Resolution 12 from the agenda.
Well, we'll vote on the balance of the agenda, and then there'll be a separate vote or separate action, at least, on number 12.
All right.
Well, yes. I'd like to pull R4 from the agenda, and also the appointments, I believe, to the library board.
That's not,
That's not here.
That's not here?
No.
Okay,
no.
okay,
That would be Wednesday, that's on the work session.
okay.
Okay? So you want to kill 4. So we're going to take, what we're going to do is we'll be approving the consent agenda without 4 and 12 will be voted on separately. So we have a motion to
Okay.
approve the consent agenda without these 2 present.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda without 4 and 12?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Council President Ship Freeman.
Yes. Okay. All right. Welcome for discussion on 4.
Okay. Council President?
Yes.
Yes, I just had concerns with relationships that we have on 4 with the Middlesex County Sewer Youth Authority, because I think that there's supposed to be some sort of, well, there's not supposed to be a relationship, and I know that we have a relationship there and a relationship here, and it's a relationship with our sewer department and our water, and it's tied together with different engineering firms that seem to be associated with it all. So at this time, I feel uncomfortable with approving that until I can get some other advice from legal counsel on that, if you would mind. That's why I'm just looking to table it for now.
Any other discussion? we have a motion to table.
Is there a second?
Roll call.
Councilmember,
Was there a second?
No.
No.
Oh, sorry, the
Motion
roll
died.
call is on the resolution unless there's,
There's no second, motion dies.
right, so now it's just on the resolution, approving the resolution.
so now I need a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Councilmember Brescher?
No.
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Deal?
Yes.
Councilmember Gomez?
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Council President Chip Freeman.
Yes. Now we'll have discussion on 12.
Yes, Council President, the reason why I'd like to pull this is because looking at the tax dollars, I don't think it makes sense to spend $100,000 on more legal services. I understand that we have, we need attorneys for different types of work. I just don't see how having 2 attorneys for the same work would benefit taxpayers. I would like to make that motion to table.
Second?
Can-
So your motion is to table 12 and second by Deal.
do-
Count-
Was there an open discussion on that?
Yes, this still is.
Was I-
All right, yes.
Okay. Yes, I mean, I felt that that appointment was a good appointment. I felt that that appointment represents the council and the mayor. We work together, but we also have separate ideas. And to have a separate council for it, I thought was reasonable. At the end of the day, legal fees. We can talk about legal fees. You have grievances, you have many things that come out there. We have legal fees on. Whether you have 2 attorneys working on 2 different cases, or you have 1 attorney working on 2 cases, the amount of hours and the time at the end of the day is going to be the same. So I really don't have an issue. I think that that's actually a very good thing that we're doing here.
Council President,
Yes.
I would agree with Councilman Brescher the same. Several council members have discussed the fact of having a separate attorney for us in the clerk's office to represent the council, to prepare resolutions, to prepare ordinances, to gather information, investigative homework for each one of us. And this is not something we discussed yesterday. It was something we agreed upon in the past. So I would ask this council to approve this. Thank you.
My only question on this is the resume. Is there a resume or something to follow 12?
If you're asking to table it, I'll support that. I just don't think it should be taken off the agenda. If you need a resume.
Right now, just to be clear, right now, the motion is only to table. It's not being, that's all, it's just being removed from the agenda for tonight.
The motion is to table.
It's the table.
Can I make one more comment? As a new council person, maybe our new council president can verify that what we get in our packets are complete. And the reason why I say that was, yes, like you just asked about resumes, there were appointments that were made that I received no resumes on, so I was basically going to vote no on any of the appointments, just because, well, I don't know who the people are or anything about them. There is nothing. So if you could just verify that, being, the president, that we have that in the future.
I thought right now we were just discussing number 12. I didn't think we were discussing appointments and stuff of that matter. We're only discussing number 12 and number 12 to be tabled. So I don't, right now I'm not going to entertain the ongoing subject of the clerk told us that no appointments would be made until the Wednesday session. So I just want us to stick to the agenda. Thank you.
Council President, I'm just asking for support of the council. We've discussed this in the past. We just approved close to $1 million in attorneys that some of us don't have resumes for. We have familiarity with the attorneys and their background. I think Mr. Northgrave can speak of this firm. He knows of the attorney, his past history. I think it's just fair that we support this and keep it on the agenda and vote. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Start with the motion again.
At this time, there should be a roll, if there's no further discussion, there should be a roll call on the motion to table.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle. Sorry. This is to table. The motion is to table. Just to table.
No to table.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes to table.
Councilmember Gomez.
Yes to table.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
No to table.
Council President Ship Freeman.
Yes, yes to table.
3 noes, 4 table. Okay.
Okay. Take a 5-minute break.
Just want to take a 5-minute break we're going to start a work session.
All right, okay. All right, at this particular time, we're going to take a 5-minute break before we start the work session. Thank you.
Okay, excuse me, if you could, take your business outside. We're going to continue with the work session at this time. Thank you very much.
And they would probably get, I get the worst, microphone. That's the grade you get for council president. All right, oral petitions and remarks is open to the public right now. And we're starting from the list. Starting from the list, Gloria Dittman.
Good evening. I did not want to comment on the resolutions. I wanted to make a general comment. Is that allowed at this time?
That's this time, yes.
Okay. My name is Gloria Dittman on Midland Road in Edison. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone who has now obtained the honorable office of councilperson and council president. And secondly, I would like to thank everyone who has been on the council and has helped and supported the Edison Art Society. We do everything we do in Edison, and we do it not from taxpayer dollars, but from donations from corporations and individual memberships. I do want to thank personally Mike Lombardi and Len Sandelsky. Being on the council, there's a million meetings, a lot of events, a lot of time taken away from family. And I'm sorry they're not here tonight for me to personally say this, but I do think they did a good job, and I certainly want to thank them. So good luck to you, and please remember the Edison Art Society. Thank you.
Thank you. Bimal Joshi.
Bimal Joshi, 11 Myrtle Street, Edison, New Jersey. First of all, I want to congratulate the new council candidate who got elected. We surely miss Lenny and Michael. You know, they were very good, but always new people comes in and it's good. First of all, I want to congratulate Council President to you. This is the first time in the history of Edison, African-American woman has become the president. And I also want to congratulate Samip Joshi, the youngest council vice president, who is regularly working for this town.
Thank you.
And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
All right. Okay. We'll start from the administrative agenda. We'll start from, I don't think there's any council reports at this particular time. So our administrative agenda for Mayor Thomas Lanke, 7A through C.
Council President, if you don't mind, usually we have a committee, council committee remarks. Is that something
Yes.
we can still do?
Do you have, I'm sorry. Are there any
Ma'am.
council committee reports?
I just wanted to go, I'm going to skip Mr. Brescher. You mind if I go first?
Sure.
Okay. Council President,
Committee. This is from past committees.
I was just going to talk about the beautification committee.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
I'll hold off to the end. And so I'll just hold off to the end, Councilman. You're correct. Thank you. We'll just hold off to the end.
All right, so at this particular time, we're discussing the administrative agenda from Mayor Thomas Lanke, 7A through C. Any discussion? Yes.
Council President, when we talked about this came back to that other discussion about resumes. I didn't see resumes for the library board. And I know that we've had a difficulty with the library board, and if my recollection is correct, I think we got rid of 2 people, we hired 2 new people, and then we got rid of 2 people. And in watching the videos, it was a little disturbing to watch the library meetings. So I'd like to make sure that any candidates that we have for the library are very well qualified. Now, I did see that some of the people were existing, and I don't have an issue with them. I've watched them, and they seem like they're very well suited for the library. But the new person there, I think really needs to be vetted, and there's a way anyway that we could interview that person. I'd like to see that happen.
I don't think any other persons have been interviewed, and I think that a master's degree would, be okay to be on the library board.
Councilman, I think your concerns are valid in theory. I have served on the library board the last 2 years, and if you recall, I was at the forefront in terms of trying to get it in order. I've seen the resume. She does have a master's degree. I've looked up not just her profile, but I got a background on her. I'm comfortable with voting in favor of her.
Well, now, Mr. Joshi, I want to go back, and because I've watched your council meetings, and I know you had issues with, I don't know if you called it nepotism or whatever you called it. And the only thing I did was I had a name, so I didn't really have a resume or anything that I got to really look at that showed me qualifications, qualified for a library, let's say. But the only thing I did notice is that the only friend that person has that's friends with everybody that's in my friends on a Facebook type thing is our council president, which could be okay, is what I'm saying. But I don't know. And like you pointed out about the committee people and all of that at one time, and the nepotism thing that you pointed out, I tend to agree slightly with you, with the exception that if council gets to vet these people, we get to look at their resumes, we get to interview them, then we know they're qualified. So until that would happen, I just feel uncomfortable, being that the library has been in such disarray, and our council president and vice president were overseeing that library during this disarray. So I'd like to just bring stability there and know that that's what we have moving forward.
Council President?
Yeah.
Council President? Council President, I'm just understanding, just moving forward, I can listen to the point that Mr. Brescher's making, and I just ask, since that plenty of time we've discussed how resumes are important, and it's been something that Councilman Sam Joshi has prided himself on, that committees need to have resumes. I just ask that if you could support Council President, that moving forward, that any appointments that have council approval authority, that we should have a resume. And to the administration, if I could speak to the administration, to Maureen, can we have resumes moving forward on the next, any other?
Yes, normally we don't do reappointments, but I don't have any problem having others pull their have the clerk pull their resumes from last time.
And it's just for clarification. I mean, and I just wanted to make sure because Councilman Joshi brought up a few good points, and I asked him in the past, just if we're going to ask for resumes, we got to ask for resumes for everything. And for tonight, I'm not picking at the library board, but the attorney we discussed tonight that we voted down to be off the agenda. If we're going to ask for resumes from attorneys, I just ask that we ask for resumes from all attorneys. That's all. Because tonight we approved $1 million in contracts of attorneys, which I know of them, but I don't know if everybody's familiar with them on this council or new to this council. So I just have a challenge with pulling one off and have selective hearing on one, but not for all. And I'm not pointing in that direction tonight, Council President, but I'm just asking to the administration, just moving forward, resumes for all appointments, resume for all hiring, and I'm fine with that. And I just expect, I would request that it be in my packet before the voting session. Thank you, Council President.
Okay, in reference to someone talking about someone who's a friend on Facebook, there's a bunch of people that are my friends on Facebook. I have no association or affiliation with them. So if we're going to go by who's somebody's friend on Facebook, we need to be more professional when we discuss stuff. Mrs. Mead happens to be an Edison resident, and she happens to have a master's degree, and she happens to affiliate herself that in her, some people on Facebook don't make friends with everybody on Facebook, point blank. And because of their job and because of their security, they just don't do it. But at this particular time, if our argument is going to be a Facebook argument, I would like to move from that, point blank.
Council.
Because, excuse me, sir, but her resume has been in for a good while now, for maybe 3 months.
Oh, Council President, all I'm saying is that, right, I mean, all that I'm saying.
The mayor had it for over 3 months, so.
Okay, right. I don't know what the mayor does with the resumes. I have no clue. This is my first time, my first meeting, the first time I got an agenda. I just know that she was friends with you, so I understand you might feel that she's qualified.
I'm really not a friend with her.
Okay,
She's
but
younger than me. I tend to not hang out with people that's way younger than me.
well, I'm a little younger than you and me when you were hanging out.
But in reality, okay, somebody that you associate with, that doesn't necessarily make them your friend.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is that, that's why I believe that you believe she's qualified. And I'm just asking for us to have the opportunity for the rest of us to understand how she's qualified. I mean, if you don't really know her and you're just going by the resume and you haven't spoken to her, then you're probably in agreement that we should meet with her. And that's all that I'm saying.
Excuse me, unless we're going to meet with every single person, because of the person who there is, I don't want it to come back to me as discriminatory practices, because it will come back to me as discriminatory practices. That's the end of my discussion.
Okay.
All right.
I'd like to also move forward then.
Yes, I would also. Okay, we're going to from the business administrator, approval of A through E. I mean, 8A through E. Any questions? Any discussion? Okay. All right, from the Department of Finance, 9A through E. Any discussion?
Council President?
Yes.
Yes, you're under the business administration now?
Yes.
That I can comment on?
Yes, it's from the Department of Finance that I am from now. We just went through from the business administrator, we just went through that.
Okay.
Now we're on 9A through E. Do you have any discussion on that?
Not on finance, on the business administration. I do.
Which one?
That was one step back. E was risk management.
Okay.
I'd just like to see, I know we've used them for a while and they've been with us for a while, but I'd just like to see if there's any way possible that the administration could put that out to bid and see if we can do a little bit better on that professional contract there, only because we've been using them for so long.
Any other discussion? Now, can we move on to finance, 9A through E? Any discussion? All right, then we'll move right along from the Department of Health, 10A and B. Any discussion? All right, moving right along. From the Department of Law, 11A and B. Any discussion? Any discussion on 11A?
Oh, Council President, I believe that we just discussed this earlier today, and just because it's a redevelopment plan, we wanted to hold off on one meeting for it so that we can review the plan in full. So I would just ask if we can hold off on it for one meeting.
All right. Any other discussion on that, on the development plan? All right. Number 12, from the Department of Public Works, A resolution awarding contracts.
Council President,
Yes.
to the administration, could you walk me through this contract? It's with Bayshore, correct? What is their
It's where we
service they
drop off our
provide?
recycling.
I'm sorry,
It's where we drop off our recycling.
and is there an amount, is there a breakdown of tonnage that we?
I can get you that.
I guess what I want to, I've asked in the past about some information on sanitation in the budget, and I just want, is this our second year using them, or is it our first year?
It's our second year.
Second year. And does this go through bid? How does this,
No, you do not have to do
It's just a
for
tonnage?
recycling.
by tonnage? And how does this estimate, is it based on last year's performance?
Last year's tonnage.
Okay, all right, just if I
Give or
can
take.
request the tonnage report, that'd be fine. Thank you, Council President.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll move on from the Department of Water and Sewer, 13, A and B.
Council President?
Yes.
To the administration, for B, Mock McDonald, can you explain their service? And there's two parts that I'm just confused with here. First is we hired Mazer for about $200,000 to do a portion of our water service. Now we're hiring.
Mazer has done no work on our water, only Mont McDonald.
Okay, but did we, prior to this contract here, we've had a contract prior to this with another engineer. What engineer was that?
For the sewer?
For the water? For the water or the sewer? We did something just 4 months ago.
Yeah, Councilman, I'm pretty sure that was with Mont McDonald the
It's only
entire
been
time.
Mont.
Yeah, they're kind of their bailiwick is this area. I don't think we had a contract with, as far as I recall, I don't recall any other contract other than Mont dealing with water and sewer.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm certain we had another contract for, during the acquisition of the sewer and water, when we took over, a few months back, we hired for, I believe we did it for the quality, the health code measures for the water.
It's only been Mont.
So to your knowledge, we've hired no other engineer for water for anything in addition to our basic one?
No.
I'm just not comfortable with this, Council President. I just would like to hold off before we vote on this.
There's going to be a vote Wednesday night
Wednesday.
anyway. Yeah.
If you could provide the homework I discussed, I'm certain we hired another person. I'm just trying to justify what we're doing for the money that we're
I know
paying,
you
that's
are,
all.
but Mr. Brescher had asked me some questions today, and I ran the vendors, and it's
Okay,
Mont.
I'll take it on
Okay.
a phone call. Thank you, Council President.
Council President?
Yes.
Yes, I have a question with the same one. I know that we had, I believe it's $100,000 for the water and $150,000 for the sewer. is how the allocation is. And I guess my question for the water isn't so much, but you gave me some numbers of what we spent on the sewer in the past years. So my question is, at this point, after looking at it and seeing that there's a little bit of disparity in the numbers, I guess it depends on what we plan on doing. Could we get a list of what we plan on doing for the $150,000 for the sewers before Wednesday?
Absolutely. I can
Thank
give I can give you that tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. Any more discussion? All right. From the Chief of Fire, 14A, any discussion? All right. Number 15, from the Chief of Police, 15A. Any discussion? Okay. Okay, I started having this. All right, discussion items, Councilman Brescher.
Yes, I'd just like to say good evening, and being this is my first year, I'd like to say tonight we stand at the forefront of a new Edison. We begin this year with great promise. I, along with my council colleagues and the council, stand ready to address the significant issues that have plagued our town. I want to thank the residents of Edison for placing confidence in me. I assure all of our residents, whether you voted for me or not, that I will work on your behalf. Well, the time for speeches is really over. It's time for us to get to work, and we have several challenges to overcome. Our infrastructure. This council must allocate funds necessary to improve our roads, our sewers, and our buildings, and stop the deterioration of our crumbly buildings and infrastructure. And we must make sure that there's proper oversight and accountability in this process. On public safety, we must revisit our current hiring and promotional practices for our police department, so we ensure that we are hiring the best and most qualified individuals while simultaneously holding people accountable for poor performance. We will work to tweak our own laws on how our military are treated, so when they are deployed in these scary times, their families are fully protected. As they work to protect us and our freedoms, we must protect their families while they are away. Tonight, I am also calling for a performance audit to evaluate each of our departments. We need to cut any abuse and any waste. We need to hold our vendors accountable and mandate that the administration provide a comprehensive facilities plan conducted by an independent third party, so that we know that our departments are being run efficiently and being funded correctly. Perhaps no issue is more important than enacting property tax fairness. Our residents are overburdened, and many are being priced out of their homes. Many special interest groups are not paying their fair share, leaving residents to carry the burden. Annual increases of our property taxes to fill budget gaps is not really the answer. Tonight, I am calling for a committee of our council to assess and issue and propose a comprehensive tax reform package. As part of this review, we must assess whether large corporations, including our hospitals, hotels, and warehouses, are paying their fair share of taxes. Also, as part of this review, we must pass legislation that will significantly increase the fines for non-residents who fraudulently utilize our schools and other services. As part of this review, we must also review the approval process utilized by our zoning and planning boards and review our master plan. Finally, we need to look at our outsourcing of vendors, such as our ambulance service. Some services should be township-run, and public safety should be done by the town, not by a vendor. I ask the public to come to our meetings and hold this body, all of us, accountable for implementing solutions on these 4 key areas: infrastructure, public safety, efficiency, and property tax fairness. In the coming weeks, I will introduce legislation on each of these issues. I promise to update the public on a monthly basis so we can gauge our own performance. Thank you.
Councilman Coyle.
Council President, thank you very much. First, I want to congratulate Councilwoman Joyce Shipp Freeman on your victory, not only being the first African-American woman in the council, but for just making history all throughout this town. I walked with you day by day. You were part of our Column B team, and I think it's just a true credit to that the party has changed. You know, how things were run back then and how they are now. This is just a remarkable change, and it's needed. We had a female on the council in the past, and we decided not to have one for that next round, and I'm so thankful that the committee considered having you on this ticket, and it's wonderful, not only you being the first African-American woman, but also being a resident in this community for decades and knowing this community. So there's been a history of people who get on some days and don't know this town as well as others, and I'm happy to see you here today, and I'm looking forward to working with you. I did hear your statement of what you plan to do. I'm in full support behind you to get things done in Edison. I'm not here for my 4 years to waste time. I really, truly like to see some meat in our agenda and move this town forward. Like you've mentioned in your statement, this town has opportunity. And some days we sit here and argue about a garden hose. We spend all this time on the committee of the whole for a racist flyer, which I know is important. But the time I just want to see equally shared on other issues in this town. We had 2 murders in Edison, and we didn't spend any time talking about the 2 murders in Edison, but we talked about the racist flyer for hours and hours and hours. I'm not saying it didn't deserve attention, but I'd have a hard time to believe that it deserved the same equal attention that for the families who lost loved ones. A murder in Edison is a serious thing, and have 2 murders in Edison is double the problem. I'd hope that we improve opportunities on public safety, and I hope that we can look at the odds in this room of how we collectively come together to make sure that we're moving this town forward on things that truly matter. So I know this room is filled with several people with opinion, but it doesn't direct the 100,000 people who are in this town that pay the taxes. And it's important we think about what they want for this town and what's important. I also, so I congratulate you also on your victory on council president. Councilwoman Joy Shipp-Friedman, you did this on your own, and you made this happen, and that's an incredible victory.
Thank you.
And I do plan to support you. I plan to make sure that you're prepared, and say anything I can do to make sure that you do your job to move this town forward and work with our mayor. We're not always going to agree, and I think our mayor, Tom Leakey, knows that, but it's important that we move forward. We are very fortunate to have Senator Pat Dagnan, our assembly, who is here tonight to work with us. Our freeholders, we have a great committee of people to work with in this legislative body to get things done in Edison. We're fortunate that we don't have to fight from the top of our ladder to the bottom to get things done. It's time we take advantage of that opportunity in this town, and that we escalate to truly get things done in Edison. I would love to see things happen here. We need a school, and this is something we have to work on together. And I will agree with Councilman Sam Joshi how important that is, and Council Joy Shipp-Friedman, and several others who've mentioned how important that is. I also just want to thank the residents of Edison for voting me in for a second 4-year term. I'm not going to go into a long detail of my background in this community, but I've been here for 51 years. I've never left Edison. I don't plan to ever leave Edison. I'm going to die in Edison. That's fine with me, okay? I love traveling. People know I'm a road trip guy, but I can't wait to come back to be in my town. For those who know, our family had a bakery in this town for about 20 years on Amboy Avenue. I've been about small business my entire life. I've been about advocating keeping the quality of life for our towns together. And I truly believe that if you're paying high taxes and you think that's a problem in your world, I think you deserve to see the value of the taxes you pay. And I plan to continue to work with code enforcement, to work with our administration, who I'm truly thankful for. Maureen, Ron, thank you for all the responses you've given me this year. I plan to walk every street in Edison. Some people say I'm doing it to lose weight. I would probably agree. But I plan to walk every street in this neighborhood to make sure the quality of life matters. I don't want to see a tractor trailer parked on a sidewalk in a residential neighborhood. I don't want to see someone with 2 boats on their lawn and a motorhome. When someone else next to them has improved their property and invested $100,000, we should equally care about our neighbors and how important that is. It is a big problem, and it needs to be addressed in this town. I was working on New Year's Day, and I drive through a few communities, and it just appalled me to see a tractor trailer and a work truck on the front of our sidewalk in a residential neighborhood. Things like that just drive me crazy. And to some people who believe it may be okay, it's not. And turning your residential house into an office, turning your residential house into a mechanic garage while others people are trying to keep their house value together is just wrong. I hope to have the support of this council to do more quality of life things in Edison. I plan to continue our beautification committee with the support of this council, and I would hope that we make this town look beautiful. Our entryways and exit ramps should represent you're coming into Edison. When you get here, you should know that you've entered a town that looks beautiful. And there should be a significant difference when you cross out of New Brunswick into Edison, you cross out of Woodbridge into Edison, you come out of Island into Edison, or you come out of South Plainfield to Edison. It's important people recognize you've entered Edison. And I promise to work hard on that with you, and I hope to have the support from you, Council President, to do that work. I also just want to say last, I want to thank the Democratic Committee for selecting me for the second time, and it was a process. It was not my first time screening in that room. I also want to thank Doc Paternitti back in the day when he ran our Democratic Party. He was definitely helpful in my success of welcoming me in the party. And there were times I got 11 votes in that room, 2 votes in that room. And I left with 98 this time, and I was proud to continue this nomination. And it was the support of the committee, the council members here, and also the win of having our Middlesex County Democratic Organization is truly the strength of this party. And how we act here, it represents how we act across this town, and across this county, and across this state. I just ask all of us to think about doing the right thing so we can move this town forward. I'll help you argue over a garden hose if I have to, but I don't want to. But if it brings us together, fine. I'll argue with you to get that done. But I really think we have so many great things to do in this town, and we are one of a kind. Nobody has the location Edison has. Nobody. I would argue with McCormick in a day that we have location. Nobody has what we have, the crossroads of Edison, 287, 440, access to the Parkway, Turnpike. We have it all. We truly have it all. And you can talk about Woodbridge, and yes, they're doing a great job, and they have a wonderful mayor, but we have a central location here. And I'm hoping that we can build on that to make sure that a lot of the great things can happen. And it can't happen without us, without the 4 of us being together, 4 votes on this council agreeing to push forward, or just all 7 of us agreeing to move this town forward. I thank you, Council President, for listening to my remarks, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Councilmember Deal.
Okay. Thank you, Council President. I just want to say hello to everybody tonight. It was so nice to see the room so filled with friends and family members for tonight's ceremony. I want to congratulate everyone who was elected, congratulate our president and our vice president. Most of you know I've been around for a little while. I've worked with 20 different council members over the years, and I say this, and that is you learn something from every single individual who is elected. They can all bring something to the table. Council President, I really enjoyed your remark tonight about diversity and the fact that it's one thing to talk about diversity and talk about being together and talk about being respectful. It's another thing to have that put into action. And that's what I'm really looking forward to this year, is that we work together as a council with all the unique minds and opinions and ideas that we have, that we work together for the residents of Edison. I know previous to this, we talked about the fact that there were elections and some people were on this side and that side. As of tonight, we're all on the same side. We are all on one team tonight. It is Team Edison, and I appreciate that very much. Council President, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Councilmember Gomez.
Yes, ma'am. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my council colleagues for being elected and re-elected into the council. And of course, I want to congratulate Council President for being elected and Council Vice President. We'll look forward to working together, and any help that I can offer, I'm more than happy to do so. And again, it's really about moving Edison forward, right? We're here together, we're willing to work together, and we always opened it up to not only back here, but to everybody else, in the audience and in the township, to help us move Edison in the right direction. So we're looking forward to a brighter 2020 and a brighter future for Edison. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilmember Joshi? Excuse me.
No, I have no
excuse
further.
me. Wait a minute, I'll do Patil first.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my mistake. Councilmember Patil?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. We had a good crowd today. This was an historic moment for the Edison Township. Congratulations, President Joyce Ship Freeman, my running mate. Congratulations, youngest Council Vice President Sam Joshi. This is an humbling experience to get re-elected. Thank you, Congressman Frank Pallone, for swearing me in. I thank all Edison residents who gave the chance to serve for one more term. Last year was a real difficult election year, and getting through is really a blessing. It's my commitment to the residents that I will do my best to keep this town moving forward. Again, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Councilmember Joshi?
Yes, thanks for your remarks. Council President, I have no further remarks apart from the speech that I had given earlier. Thank you. I look forward to a wonderful year ahead.
And I would like to thank everyone who came out, and I still would like to remind everybody that in 2020, this is the 100th year of the women's suffrage movement. So, people who have daughters, who have wives, who have nieces, who have any female relatives are connected, should feel very proud that Edison itself moved forward into electing me to be the council president. I thank all the men that surround me all the time, all my council members. I feel like Gladys Knight and the Pips, but yes, but I'd like to thank everybody. I would like to thank you for your support and everything. And I would like everybody to know that we are to join together. We are one team. We are the Democratic team, and everything we do, we would like to do it for our constituents. We're not here for ourselves. We're here to make our constituents very comfortable and to make them believe that we want them to be a part of our future. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
Second?
Yes.
All in
Second.
favor? All right.
Aye.
Good. Oh, okay.
Meeting adjourned. Meeting adjourned.